Joining me this afternoon on the afternoon show, we have Chris Harris from Barrow Magistrates Court. Welcome to Can Do FM, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, Andrew.
Now, there's a particular shortage at the moment of magistrates at Barrow Court. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. There is a real shortage of magistrates for South Cumbria, based at Barrow, both for the criminal bench and also for the family bench. So we're really looking for two different types of magistrates, and we need at least 10 in total.
Gosh, right. Okay. So can you tell us then what's the difference? What's the criteria for the two different types of magistrate?
I think that there are similarities, first of all. We're looking really for people who want to pay back a little bit, perhaps, to the community. The sort of people who may have a bit of spare time, who may have recently volunteered for the NHS, and based upon that, they want to carry on volunteering. So the qualities really are very much the same. A family magistrate, as its name implies, is really dealing with family matters and disputes within the family, whereas, of course, a criminal magistrate is dealing with everything, really, from minor crime all the way up to the preliminary stages of far more serious crime.
Now, I would have presumed that you would need some quite high-level qualifications in order to do this job.
There's a simple answer to that, and the answer is no. What you need above everything else is a bit of good old common sense. The ability to listen and to form a judgment not based on emotion, but on the evidence. And whether you're a criminal magistrate or a family magistrate, the skills really are as simple as that. What you do not need is any form of legal qualification. And a lot of people don't realize that, but that is the case.
Good, right. So so it's personal qualities really that you're looking for. Somebody that's empathetic and sympathetic, but also able to listen to both sides of the story without making a judgment before you even start.
That's absolutely right. The ability to weigh up based, as I say, on evidence rather than on an immediate emotion, as it were.
Okay. Now then, what sort of time commitment would people be expected to put in?
It's the same throughout the whole of the country. It's 13 days per year is the minimum. Barrow, like many courts, we don't do half days, so it is 13 days per year. On top of that, in your first year, there are 4 or 5 days training, which again is arranged regionally.
Right. Okay. Well, should we play a little bit of music and then come back and talk a little bit more? Because this is fascinating stuff, actually. I'm with Chris Harris. He is my guest this afternoon. And Chris is from Barrow Magistrates Court and is here to persuade you lovely people of Barrow to apply to be magistrates. There is a shortage of magistrates, both on the criminal court and on the family court. And we were talking a little bit there, Chris, about what is entailed, the commitment entailed. And you talked about these 13 days. Could you describe for people what would a day be like being a magistrate?
A typical day, Andrea, is you would get to court about 9:30 in the morning in order to read into the cases of that day and to be briefed by the legal advisor that sits there with you. The day normally will finish sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock. And during that time, you could have the whole array of different cases that appear before a magistrate's court. So it's very interesting. I always say it keeps the brain active, because you do require the ability to concentrate and to listen quite intently at times during the course of the day.
But what about, how would you know that you would be making the right decision for people? Because presumably some of the decisions that the magistrates make can have quite life-changing effects on people's lives.
far-reaching consequences. If you are a criminal magistrate, you, of course, could be sending someone into custody for 6 months. If you are a family magistrate, you could be talking about removing children from the family home. So, yes, it's a very serious business indeed.
But are you on your own as a magistrate, or do you work as part of a team?
No, very much part of a team, and that team consists of fellow magistrate colleagues. Normally, you would sit with 3 magistrates. At the moment, we're sitting with 2. That's entirely down to COVID. And then, of course, you have the all-important legal advisor, who is the legally qualified person in court, who does ensure that you are going with the law and you're going with the correct procedure. So very much part of a team.
Right. I should imagine that there'd be quite a few people listening in right now who are thinking to themselves that they'd really like to do this, but they're already in full-time work. Can they still apply?
Very much so. And indeed, employers are very supportive of people, their employees becoming magistrates. Employers realise there's quite a lot in it for them. They want people who can be decisive, people who can work within a team, people who can make good decisions within a structured environment. That's what we do every single case.
And those sound like very employable skills as well. So for those in the community who have perhaps, there's quite a few people, I should imagine, at the moment who are in between careers. They perhaps have been made redundant from their one career and are moving or looking to move into a different career. These are really good skills to have if you're applying for other jobs as well.
Absolutely. There can be no promises, of course, but it certainly would enhance a CV.
What do people do then? So how do you go about applying?
Well, the very first thing to do is to go online and Google volunteer as a magistrate. And that will take you to our fairly new website with all the information that you need there. And it will show you all of the requirements that I've talked about, the skill requirement, time requirement, and so on.
Right. And then there's an application form and you can fill that in online.
There is indeed. Now, I must mention one really important thing. We are coming towards the end of a long campaign in Cumbria. We actually started way back in June, and the closing date is the end of December. There is still time to get your application in, but please do so before the end of this month, the end of this year.
Fantastic. Well, we will put all that information onto our social media page as well. So if you're looking for that link, then just have a look on the Can Do FM Facebook page, and I'm sure you will find that post there. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. It sounds like a really interesting opportunity, and I hope people listening who think that that's something for them will get in touch with you.
Thank you very much indeed, and we look forward to all of those applications coming in from Barrow.
Thank you.